Morning students, now we are going to discuss about of RTOS. RTOS means real time operating systems. Real time operating systems. First, we are going to discuss about of why we need RTOS and what is RTOS. Let's start with what is RTOS. Real time OS for operating systems means usually we have OS in our PCs, personal computers. Likewise, having an examples of Linux, Windows, and in Linux you have lot of types like Red Hat, Ubuntu. In Windows, starting from 98, 2000 Professional, NT, 2003, 2007. That is what we used to call it of as Windows 7, and even now we are experiencing Windows 10 also. So these are the versions that we have in Windows, and these are the versions we have in Linux. There may be some other operating systems also available in Linux and Windows also. So why we are going to choose RTOS rather than OS? For example, I am considering one example as my PC, personal computer, which is having Windows 7 as my operating systems. So any one of the stored data can be either it may be transferred or it may be received or it may be processed to somewhere, can be possible by using Windows 7 operating systems. Have you ever seen any one of the PC, provisional personal computer, consisting of either it may be Windows 7 or Windows 10 or Windows having a versions of 98, 2000 NT, 2003, any one of the version. PC is going to be used to execute any one of the real-time functions. No, nowhere that you are using general operating systems for executing any one of the real-time applications. Whenever you are using any one of the data, which whenever means, for example, now I am speaking, my voice or my speech is a data in terms of analog, you can store it. Either it may be through pen drive or it may be through CD. You can save in your system, you can do any processing or else you can apply any one of the techniques on my speech signal. But is it possible to live recording of my voice by using OS? No, it is not possible. For that type of any real-time applications are there, then we are going to use RTOS, real-time operating systems. Next, why we need an RTOS? Up to now you have learned about of what is RTOS. Now you are going to learn about of why we need an RTOS. Nowadays, whichever it may be the process, either it may be transfer or it may be received or it may be quantization, sampling, no one is ready to spare extra time on any one of the executing process. So everyone nowadays time and finance or it may be money. These two parameters are very, very crucial parameters in any one of the system, may be related to OS, may be related to RTOS, may be related to any one of the task accomplishment, whichever it may be. Time and money are the most important parameters. So, if it is the criteria, any process, for example, I have my voice, my speech. Once I stored my speech in one register, or it may be a pen drive. Once it is stored, you can do whatever it may be. Usually speech is an analog signal. For this particular signal, you need to apply sampling. Then you will get discrete components of analog signal, which is nothing but my speech. Once sampling is completed, then I will go to quantization. Means based on the sampling values or discrete values, I would like to convert those values in terms of either 0 or 1, or simply we used to call it as converting an analog signal to digital signal. For this entire process, I have a techniques like, first I need to store the speech. Once after completion of store, I need to take the support of any one of the OS, support of operating systems. Once it is accomplished, then I need to apply the technique of sampling. Then I have to apply quantization. Then only I will get my output as digital speech. But if I have the support of RTOS, then no need to take any one of the support of OS, because RTOS itself having operating systems. It will work on based on real-time applications. So, already I have this RTOS support, and this sampling, quantization, directly here you can, RTOS will support ADC or DACs, digital to analog or analog to digital converters. So, directly by using RTOS, we can operate ADC and DACs. If it is a pure OS, we can't able to operate DACs and ADCs. That is the reason why we need an real-time operating systems. So, these are the index or contents which we have in our 4th unit. First one is introduction. So, why and what that you already learned now, and next one is operating system basics. Nothing means it's just like OS structure. Usually you people used to call it up as kernel, heart of OS, like brain of a human being. And what are the internal parts available with the kernel and how it is going to be operating, and what are the tasks that are going to be performing by kernel. And next one is types of operating systems. So, we have general operating systems, like you already seen Linux, Windows, Windows 98, Windows NT, Windows 2000 Professional, Windows 7, Windows 10, even Windows 8 also is there. So, like what are the types of RTOS, real-time operating systems? And next one is what is meant by task, what is meant by process, and what is meant by threads in RTOS. And next one is multiprocessing and multitasking. So, what is this one? Process. Here what we have? Process. So, if it is here, you are going to learn about of what is one single process, and here you are going to learn about of how a multiple number of processes are going to be executing, and for that particular purpose what are the precautions that you need to take care of. And same as here, you will have that what is meant by task and how it is going to be operating. Here you are going to learn if multiple tasks are available, how it is going to be executing, and what are the precautions that we need to take care, and how we are going to declare the tasks. And next one is types of multitasking. So, here you are learning about of what is multitasking, means how you are going to implement several number of tasks at a time. Here multitasking types are available, 3 types are available. So, which type and how it is going to be operating, we will see in the topic. Next one is task scheduling. So, here you have task, so here you have multitasking, and here you have types of multitasking. So what is meant by scheduling? Means at which instant of time which task has to be executed on based on which type of algorithm. Usually in this multitasking you have two types of algorithms are available. First one is primitive, next one is non-primitive. So again, primitive you will have 4 algorithms, non-primitive you have 3 algorithms. So what are those algorithms and how they are going to be operating, we'll see in this topic. And the last one is how to class RTOS. So how you are going to decide which type of RTOS that you are going to use for a specific application. That will depends upon several parameters, and here you are going to discuss about of those parameters which will influence to choose any one of the RTOS. Okay, have an introduction now. That's what exactly I'm already explaining to you people, but based on super loop based approach. So have you, any one of you heard about what is super loop based? So super loop is nothing but just simply a C program which that you can write. So for example, I need to calculate, or else I need to display printf, or else I need to display hello as my output. So first I need to call header files. That's what it is, # include stdio.h, standard input output files of header files. Once header file call means header file means which will support it to implement any one of the logic which that you are going to write over here itself in the program. So next I'll go for void main. So this is my task. Simply I just need print printf as hello. Means directly I need hello, the term hello has to be displayed in our output. Same as super loop based means first initially we will consider the raw materials. Like previously which I explained, like header file, raw materials. Once raw materials are taken into consideration, and then you are going to declare the values, declaration, or else declare the values. Declaration part will take place, which are the elements or which are the variables that we are going to use in our program, and what is the corresponding values that you are going to assign for that particular variables. For example, I have 2 variables a and b, and I have values of 5 and 10. Once in a declaration, I used to declare a equals to 10 and b equals to 5. So these 2 values has been declared by the user. In this entire program, whichever it may be, the variable a and variable b will be presented over those particular variables a and b has been referred with 10 and 5. That's what we are going to implement in our declaration part. Once declaration is completed, then we are going to implement the logic level. So logic is nothing but logic as usual. For example, y equals to a and b. So a is my one of variable and b is one more variable. In between a and b, there is an AND operation. It has to execute AND operation. So for example, here I am taking a as 1 and b as 0 if it is a digital. So as you already very familiar with AND gate, what is the truth table of AND gate? So a, b, and the corresponding output is y. You have 2 options, either 0, 0 or 0, 1 or 1, 0 or 1, 1. These are the 4 options that you have to apply your input to this particular AND gate. Then if it is 0, 0, this is 0, If it is 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, this is 1. Means whenever both the inputs are high, at that particular instant of time only output will be 1. So, this entire logic can be performed by just predefined function as AND. We used to call it of as predefined functions. Once output is going to be stored in Y, then my logic is going to be AND over here itself. So, super loop based means this is the process. Initially, you need to declare the raw materials or else library files to call off or to execute the logic and declaration part. And next one is declaration, which are the variables or constants that we are going to use in our program. Those part has to be declared. And the logic level, how you are going to implement and how you are going to utilizing these two variables. That is what super loop based approach is. So, in entire this process is completely depends on general operating system, can be performed all these tasks because these all actions are not time dependent. For example, I have given 0 and 1 as an input signal and the corresponding output is 0, that I know. But even then I am applying 0 and 1 and the corresponding output has to be 0. It has to display 0. But still it will take some time to display 0. That time may be 1 nanosecond, maybe 10 nanoseconds, maybe 100 nanoseconds, 100 milliseconds. We can't able to predict. But if any one of the system is not working on based on time dependence means it will not support for real time applications. If any one of the system is working on based on real time means the output should be predefined time. For example, I have given 0 and 1 as input signal and the corresponding output is 0. We already know theoretically, but the corresponding output has to display with 10 milliseconds. This 10 milliseconds duration I am already given to the system. Then real-time application OS will display the output in 10 milliseconds only. It will not exceed the time, it will not give the output at 9 milliseconds also. And it will not give output at 11 milliseconds also. Because I am expecting the corresponding output at 10 milliseconds only. As a user, I have given one command to execute the output at 10 milliseconds only. Then obviously the corresponding output is displayed at 10 milliseconds only. But when it is coming to real-time applications, then it is purely demands the critical time response. What is meant by critical time response? Time response should be very fast. Example, so you have your mobile, smartphone. Smartphone. Somewhere in file manager, you have one file manager folder. In that file manager, you have one folder like songs or movies. So you would like to watch one movie in your smartphone, then you have to open your mobile and you have to open your file manager and then you have to go to movies and then you have to choose any one of the movie. Based on our selection basis, it has to play the movie. For example, for opening the file manager, usually it will take 1 into 10 to the power of minus 2 milliseconds of time if your process is good, 3.35 gigahertz. But if it is taking 2 seconds time to open your file manager and then you just tap at the folder of movies, again it will take 2 more seconds. Then you will get the list of your movies list. So you just choose any one of the movie over here itself. So once you choose this option, it will take one more 5 seconds to play the movie. Means total how much time it will take. First one is 2 seconds and movies folder is taking 2 seconds and the selection of movie is going to be executing in 5 seconds. 2 plus 2 plus 5, that is 9 seconds. If any one of the mobile is taking 9 seconds to execute or to open 2-3 folders time, are we willing to purchase those type of mobiles? Usually will not, because we need a system which is working on based on time critical basis. And you have one more example, live example, that you have one 4-wheeler. So usually it is a car. So usually you people may know that car is having airbags. So most of the minimum cars also nowadays is having airbags, whether it may be only for driver or it may be for asli also is the question. Okay, if you go for medium end, then you will get driver and asli also. I mean driver beside one. So for example, fortunately or unfortunately, car met with an accident. But once car met with an accident, usually airbags has to open immediately. Immediately means when the front part of your car, that is engine has to hit any one of the tree or any one of the road or any one of the other vehicle, there itself only depends upon the sound in terms of decibels. It has to open immediately. Then only the driver and the asli one, both the human beings are going to be survived by using these airbags. Means when it is hitting any one of the barrier or tree or any one of the other vehicle, then immediately it has to work, means it has to working on based on real-time operating systems. If it is not working properly, means accident is already done, it is already went and hit to some other tree or something else, but airbags are not open. What happened to the security systems, or else what about the safety? Is there any guarantee for driver and the asli one to be as an alive? We can't able to give any assurance. This is the main reason why we need. Thank you.